there are, as I said, people still joining in for the seminar. I could actually, since it's a minute past and we're not to waste time, but I'm only welcome you all to the seminar. The main issue and topic is the thematic interest group, and those of you who have attended the prior ones will probably know before that it's a series of seminars of the 7 different thematic interest groups that we have within the STARS EU Alliance. And this one's the 3rd out of 7, meaning that we're almost halfway through. It's very much based on that each thematic interest group defines what's the status is, and what kind of needs and what kind of actions that is being planned at the moment, because the thematic interest groups, the 7 of us, are already in place, are funded and have participants and from the different partners in the alliance within the. But it's also that it differs how far the progression has come, how much work has been done, how much different initiatives, are the projects, are the BIPs, are the applications, are they funded or what? So this means that there's a very different level of maturity within the different thematic interest groups. So therefore, the agenda or the planning of these seminars is very much up to each and every TIG, only that we need to have some kind of information of the background and the content of the TIG when it comes to which are participants, how far they have progressed, which kind of activities have been already conducted or are being planned, and also the relevance and interaction between this TIG and the other TIGs, and also outside into different parts in the challenge lab or in different parts of the universities, or perhaps even outside of the participating universities in the STARS EU Alliance, and very much focus on which kind of activities, what kind of things that are being planned for the future, what you want to do, and how to progress forward, and in the end, some suggestions or questions. I will try to follow the chat if there are people that want to have some questions for Benjamin and to the TIG, and also in the end when there will be possibility for you to ask questions to Benjamin, to Angela, or others within the TIG of what you are planning, what you want to do, and not least perhaps which kind of support and which kind of involvement from other universities, other partners in the alliance, or which kind of support needed for the positive progress of the thematic interest group of energy transition. By this, I would like to ask, are there any questions, practical or otherwise, before I give Benjamin the floor? Or is everything clear from all of you? I think so. Okay, thank you very much. And Benjamin, the floor is yours. I'll be here. I'll mute my microphone, but if you need any assistance, or I'll follow the chat, and if you need any assistance, I'll be here. And please, the thematic interest group of energy transition, please present what your thoughts and status at the moment.
So thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the opportunity to the whole organization of starting to this talk. There are very interesting things to know. I hope you really enjoy my talk. And in the second time, I want to apologize my voice because I am recovering from my illness. And perhaps my voice is not perfect to give a talk, but well, I will try to do my best. Well, I have a small presentation and I want to share with you. Please let me know if you are watching the screen.
Looks perfectly.
Okay. So, well, I structured this presentation with more or less the main points that we want to speak about. So the first of things is a small background about the actual participation, the actual participants, sorry, of the TIG. What is the meaning of energy transition? Because well, I want to know how we can understand this issue, how you can understand this, and how our TIG is understanding it to know what is the challenge of the energy transition. After that, I want to make a brief description of the content of the TIGs and the activities that we are carrying out, the relevance and the interaction with other TIGs, and of course, the planned situation of our group. Finally, well, if anybody has any suggestion or question, of course, are welcome. So at the beginning, when we started to hold several meetings about our TIG, we were talking about several aspects or several issues that we were understanding about energy transition. It means that how the renewable energy can be adopted inside of our system with all the challenge about how to manage, how it can be an energy community, how it can be used, how the renewable energy will acquire more relevance to the independence from the other systems, other distributed system operator, or another kind of electrical system. And also how the electrification to the transport can be managed, how we can make all this movement from the fossil fuels to the green power and how it can be achieved. Secondly, but this is also one of the most important things is the environmental accountability. My background, and also it's in my case, I'm a technical background, and normally I supervise these kind of things always from a technical point of view, but this is not possible to make an energy transition only thinking in technical solutions. Energy storage is mandatory. We have seen during last 4-5 years that without the storage it's not possible to manage renewable energy. It's not possible to obtain the energy and use, sorry, when we need to use that. So it implies also that the demand must be flexible, and we need to know how the flexibility can be interpreted inside of the system, can be regulated, and what feed-in tariff for any kind of political issues can be inside of the flexibility of the demand. Of course, energy in buildings and a more efficient way of the energy use are two of the most important things, and also they are related with another TIG groups. So in these days, well, this is our team. We have a recent incorporation, the Professor Samir Jemay, Dr. Daisy Templeman, Professor Martin van der Laan. We have been working with Angela Ferreira, Salomir Gatschel, Eber Angelholm, Dr. Ingo Hout from Bremen, and myself. We have different skills and different point of view about the same problem. So this is quite interesting to enrich our discussion and our perspective to the future. We made a small map about our research topics and lecture topics, and well, we create this small map about what are the most repeated words in our last 4 or 5 papers or book of or chapter of a book, and what are the issues that we can develop or we can work in the future for that. So as you can see, energy is the biggest word that we have. The introduction of the gas, power electronics, hydrogen, wind power, photovoltaics, but also you can see over there electrical mobility, decarbonization, legal framework, and so on. So for this reason, I prepare a small thing to ask you about what do you understand for the meaning of this. So let me to prepare, and please, there is a small quiz that you can go here to the participation link, or you can scan the QR code, and please answer about that. Because I want to know your opinion about what is the meaning of energy transition, or what implies really, what it does imply to energy transition inside of our concept. We can leave a couple of seconds to that, or a minute. I also will answer to use also my opinion. So you can see in the word cloud, more or less, 3 answers are remaining. What is more or less the thing that we can think? So the biggest letter are more renewables. So we are thinking that the transition must go through the incorporation of renewable energy, but several other questions are more or less also important. We can compare in the result. Of course, renewable energy is one of the biggest, more flexibility, and also smart systems, less CO2, more business opportunity, and non-pollutant transport. So it's quite interesting because this discussion has been carried out inside of our group with our universities and also in the literature right now. What is the correct path? And also the European Commission is thinking how to carry out and how to achieve all the goals and all the things that we want. So now is quite interesting the use of artificial intelligence. So I use one of this one, Open Artificial Intelligence, and I type, what does energy transition mean? What was exactly the definition of a machine that was looking around, I don't know how many databases about that. So, and textually, I just copy from that. Energy transition refers to the global energy sector's shift from fossil-based system of energy production and consumption, including oil, natural gas, and coal, to renewable energy sources like wind and solar, as well lithium-ion batteries. It was quite not funny, but curious for me. That is including that it's necessary to move from natural gas to other energies, but we can see that the last half a year or a year, the European community has thinking that natural gas must be inside of the system to include inside of the transition. So it's interesting. And the other thing is not telling us, this machine, that it's necessary to use any storage system. No. It's directly telling us lithium-ion batteries. There is not another technology has been used or incorporated to the database. So this program is thinking directly, this is the pathway. Perhaps the answer is not easy. It's not easier like that to type machine and give us the response. We need to create an environment where a lot of answers are valid and a lot of pathways are valid, because we can see that in every university that we are working and every country that is involved on the energy transition, this meaning is completely different because the resource and the opportunity, the legal framework, and the economical issues are completely different. In the last part is anything that to me is quite interesting, that is the regulation and commitment to decarbonization has been mixed. So it's not possible to think only in a technical solution, regulation and commitment. So this is an interesting hint to know how it's going on to the future. When we started to carry out our meetings, we were talking about our common points, our common understanding, and of course our worries. The first one was how to involve the stakeholders, but not only outside from the university, also inside of the university. Several research groups in our universities, of course, are working in related issues like energy transition, but sometimes it's quite complicated to involve several colleagues to us. But it's not mainly to it that we cannot be friends or anything like that. No. It's because the bureaucracy inside of our ecosystem, our universities, are so high, and sometimes we have not time to think or time to act, and sometimes it's quite complicated to manage and carry out any project because people have no time. So I am claiming to the whole system that normally we don't have enough time to think. And we are in a neutral agent inside of Europe that we are universities. We are belong in a university. So we are a neutral, we can give a neutral answer to the government on how to carry out the energy transition. Other aspect that was quite interesting was the smarter networks in order to improve the balancing of the power grid. Also, the affordability, increasing the energy bill, increasing energy consumption, how we can face this in the future, how we can produce more efficient scenarios of producing and using energy, trying to reduce the waste energy inside of the systems. How the sector can provide modular solutions to the old system that can be applied in different places. What are the environmental consequences of these kind of solutions? What kind of technologies must be involved in the production, the mass production, for example, of the electrolyzers that could be in a bottleneck in the next future if H2 is depicted like one of the pathway to be an energy vector in the future. And also in alignment with the European law, how the retrofitting buildings, tailored PV, for example, because in the building sector will consume in 2030 near to the 50% of the produced energy in an electrical system. But in the opposite case, that perhaps one can think that is anything that can move anyone from the point and perhaps create some tensions or different point of view that, well, we cannot make these kind of things. To us, it's quite interesting our differences because we are learning a lot of lessons how another country, how another university can carry out these things. For example, we are belong at different places. In my case, I'm living in Ireland. We have a really small grid in comparison with the continental grid, but several of the solutions that can be implemented here can be implemented along the world with small differences. But at the beginning, it seems to be quite complicated, but not. Other thing that can be a little bit controversial is the use of the gas, like transition energy, or even to use in a methanation or in a synthetic methane or anything like that. Other countries have been claiming that they have not enough renewable resources to make the transition in that pathway. So what lesson we can learn from this difference, because the other part, perhaps, and they have a really huge quantity of resources to produce by renewable energy. Also, the transport losses are completely different. And it does not depend exactly the size of the grid, depend on the age of the grid and the renewal of the grid. Also, how to keep the inertia, synthetic inertia, if we are moving to more power electronic system, or the inertia of the conventional system can be managed. So, and the grid management in every part of every country is completely different, mainly due to the generation part that we have. So this mix is quite important, but this difference perhaps will stretch our network because we are learning. So, and perhaps this is the base. So finally, the aim of the TIG is not only to learn about energy transition. We are talking that the full energy transition perhaps will be in 2050. If I will be alive, I will be 70. In Spain, well, I must be retired. So I cannot be inside of the system to participate, to give my opinions or to form people about that. But what it means that we need to train students for this challenge in the energy transition. We need to understand and we need to anticipate several problems and form the people that will be the new technician, new politician, and new technical staff to carry out this transition. Also, we need to create solid foundation for training, research, and also to potential the entrepreneurship in the carbonization sector, and of course, seek technical, economical, and legislative solutions for the energy transition. So, what are actually the challenge of our TIG? Well, I try to resume in 5 issues, but perhaps it could be another discussion another day. The first one is the participation, internal and external. As I mentioned it before, it's quite complicated sometimes to enroll more people to the TIG. Why? Perhaps it's the time, and it's also how are the systems in our countries, in our universities, to improve and make a career inside of the university. It's strongly related with our CV. What are the key issues to, for example, to become a professor in that country, on that university? Is the belonging in a TIG could give any further step to the people to improve in their careers, or this is only a recognition inside, and well, it's so nice, we can work a lot in our meetings, in our VIPs, in our projects, but what are the really tangible improvements and the consideration inside of our country, inside of our university, or our national agency to accreditate our degrees or our master and so on. So perhaps we need to think about that. What will be the next steps in the future to try to enroll more people to participate inside of the TIGs? When we were in Hanse, we were discussing, the small difference between the TIGs and what are the issues that are quite close between one another. And finally, we saw that all of us, all the TIGs are really related. They are well designed, and some of them are facing exactly the same problem in different part of life or different approach. So all of them are related, but in a second circle, a little bit more close, I can think that digital transformation, entrepreneurship, innovation, healthy aging, circular economy, living space, and creative industry can be transformed directly to digital transformation that is mandatory right now for an energy transition. Circular economy, sometimes the frontier, the border is quite difficult to decide what is inside of the energy transition or what is inside of circular economy. And energy transition can be not happen without entrepreneurship and innovation. They are giving their hands all the time. And finally, living space. This TIG is quite interesting because they are facing several issues about where the energy is inside of the spaces and the buildings. The greatest consumer in the whole Europe. So if it's mandatory to make a reselection of what of the TIGs are more related with energy transition, perhaps we can say that these four are exactly the most related ones. Well, regarding to this, we need to start to know each other. And one of the things that we decided is to start with an ABIP program. As you know, it has been mentioned in other talks, an ABIP program is an adjoining program from higher education institution from at least 3 program countries in order to create transnational, transdisciplinary teams. It means that we can innovate not only how to learn, also how to teach. Of course, the research and challenge-based learning is mandatory. If we can see our goals that we have from the UN, it's necessary to know that if we are creating BIPs, these sustainable goals are related. So it means that we can give another valued component with existing course that has been certified by our national agencies. So we are giving not only formation, not only information, we are giving tools for the future. Well, this BIP, the BIPs can be organized including an online cooperation, where the virtual part is combined with a physical mobility. And as you know, that the virtual component is compulsory, and there is a physical mobility from 5 to 30 days. The minimum number of credits is established in 3, and the higher education institution for the third country not associated to the program could participate and also send participants. And the minimum number of participants is 50. This number is related with the student, not the teaching staff or the training staff. So, well, it's coordinated with the organizational support funds in the annual KIA 131 application, the national agency, sending partners using these funds from the Erasmus convocatory. And finally, we were thinking what we can propose. So in this point, I would like to thank Angela Ferreira, because she was in charge to the design of the BIP. He is the coordinator. Her institution, the Polytechnic Institute of Bragança, will be the coordinating higher education institution. And here are the partners. And finally, in our proposal, my university, University of Laguna, will be the hosting. We finally decide to, well, the main subject should be to explore the flexibility of energy infrastructure through smart technology, within a total 6 credits with a workload between 150 and 162 hours, duration 1 semester. This semester, it must be carried out in English. And in the case of the Bragança, it will be part of the Master in Electrical and Computer Engineering. So we have started the course advertisement and application. The student selection is being done in these days, and we will start at the end of February. There is an academic break due to Easter, and finally, that's okay. And finally, there is an event face-to-face and evaluation in the middle end of June. Finally, we have divided by weeks. Well, we want to introduce the power distribution in Industry 4.0, design of the smart factory according to social communication standard. Also, we want to explain a week about a photovoltaic system and wind power generation. And finally, I invite to talk about superconductive electronics status and perspective. And the second module is dedicated to digitalization and sensoring of electrical networks, where IoT will be present, and also the modeling and implementation of Web of Things in Node-RED, and introduction to packet switching in networks and routing protocols. The third module is more related to the power system modeling and computation, to talk about the energy community, blockchains, facts and other components inside of the system, and how to simulate the system using power flow solutions. The fourth module is related with the smart or microgrid operation and control, where frequency and voltage control must be addressed, because it's one of the most important issues when the renewable energies are inside of the system. The capability of electrical vehicles and station inside of the system, and how to manage with a smart grid, will be addressed in the week 13. In the week 14, the communication in the IoT 5G networks will be done. Finally, the last week we will have on a presential week here in Laguna University, where the students can know each other, they can participate to create several projects, and also we are programming several visits to several installations of renewable energy, also to the astrophysics and other external holders like the TCO and DCO that are working here in the island. Well, finally, I'm more or less okay on time. Finally, the next step is if we are able to cooperate in the research field. As I talked before, we have several points in common and several points that we are quite different. So for this reason, in the next TIG, we will see if these convocatories from the ACE 2020 program could be addressed for the team. Also, if anybody will be interested, I can send the presentation. Here, there are the links of the convocatory and the things. Well, there are several things that are quite interesting. As you can see, for example, in the second one, PV integration in buildings and infrastructure is quite related with the living space TIG. Could be interesting. Also, driving urban transition government partnership could be interesting for us. So, by my side, only remind one thing, if you let me, that the next meeting will be in the end of March in my beautiful island. To be honest, today it's raining and it's so cold, but well, this is the typical weather time in La Laguna, but not in the rest of the island. So if you want to ask anything or suggestion.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. Really nice presentation and some really interesting foods for thought about, as I see it, it's very much connected to the future of everything on Earth, really, when it comes to the sustainable development goals and the future of everything living, when it comes to get electricity, get different types of energy, which will not have a negative effect on the environment and our conditions. So it's very, very interesting. I have quite a few questions, but I think I would really like to open up to begin with, if there are any of the participants that have any comments or any questions. I don't see any raised hand or anything. Sorry. Got something choking.
I think there is no
Sorry,
reason.
yeah, sure, please.
So, sorry. Perhaps it would be possible if Benjamin, you stop sharing, then we can see each other.
Sure,
It's much,
for sure.
yeah. So first of all, I agree with Gunnar. Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation, even from non-professionals like me. I have nothing to do with energy, but it was interesting to listen. And thank you very much for sharing what you are doing, what's your plans. And what I also like very much that you already indicated what kind of cross sectorial multidisciplinary cooperation could be in meaning inter-TIG cooperation, which actually we aiming at. We started from TIGs to support like in silos, kind of narrow approach, but the aim is to make you really inter-TIGs cooperation. And it's very nice that you indicated already also possibilities that it's possible. However, I always have a question, how we can support it? What should we do? How to organize with cross and multidisciplinary collaboration in StarCU? Do you need any incentives? Do we need to organize like brainstorming, or we just let you do it yourself? So do you have any suggestions for that for us?
Well, I think the first measure that you have done, that is this kind of talk, are the first step, because we are knowing a little bit deep what are going on in the other things. So I think the publicity and publication of the things that the TIGs are doing are necessary for these kind of things. Also, to be honest, I am quite lucky because I have several friends from my university that they are participating in these TIGs. So when you are going to the cafeteria to take a coffee, you can discuss several things about that. So it means that perhaps the information needs to flow around the TIG. So we have a website, part of the information is inside, but we need to increase these kind of things. Also, perhaps a new letter, perhaps once a month or twice per month, with several highlights of every TIG or every possibility or anything like that from the organizing team. Could be interesting. Also, we have several feeds. We have Twitter, we have a Facebook page, we have a lot of information over there. So, but the internal channels of every university, I think we need to bet for that, because stars seems to be in the stars, and so sometimes we need to bring to the earth. So it's quite complicated to the people to convince that this is interesting if they are not seeing for what and what is my my rental or my benefits in these kind of things. When we were creating the BIP, for example, we have several meetings in my university. I contact with, I don't know how many lecturers, 4 or 5 or anything like that. When each other was saying, nah, yeah, well, I will see next year how it's going on. So, and sometimes it's necessary, okay, we will do that. We will see what happens, but go ahead. And then perhaps with your force and your strength, you can assume more people inside it. But to show, to take a moment to communicate, to be effective in communication, and well, it's a fantastic framework to collaborate, to learn a lot. And I mentioned before, not the things that we are working exactly the same are the key issue for the future. Our difference are the future to me. I think it's exactly the framework where we can learn one each other. These differences are making us bigger and stretch, I think. And for this reason, I really believe in this initiative. So,
thank you, Benjamin. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Benjamin. Louis, you were raising your hand. Please.
Yes, good afternoon all. As a representative of the steering committee by IPP, I would like to acknowledge you and congratulate for the work done on all the team. I think you are going in the right way. And one point that I would like to underline is that the thematic interest groups are both for learning activities and research activities. So you understand that, and you are going the right way. What we are expecting, of course, like as steering committee, is that those groups start to having common lecturing opportunities for our teachers and our students, and also to start cooperating in research. In what concerns the teaching and learning, we understand that BIPs are a very nice opportunity nowadays, because we can fund it easily through the Erasmus project. But of course, in the future, we can think about even more ambitious projects like common programs and so on. But by now, to have a BIP is very nice. And what I would like also to underline, and I think you again are in the right way, is that there is no big, we can cooperate at the same time in teaching and research. And this BIP, in my opinion, I'm not an expert, but for the point I understood, I think this is a very nice example on that, because I think you propose a shared BIP with the participation of different teachers and students. But at the same time, the topics that you addressed, I think they are related also to the research of the teachers and addressing the actual SDGs and so on. So I would like to congratulate once again for that. And also you are going also the right way by trying to and to study all the research funding opportunities, and you are thinking to apply in the near future in some of these research opportunities. So thank you very much for your efforts. One last point that you refer by saying that is on the IPB side, but I hope it will be in the near future, if not yet in the near future for all partners, is that those BIPs and all the teaching joint modules should be recognized, and of course should be promoted and supported by all partners. Okay, so we have the opportunities for the Erasmus program to support mobility. I think we are going the right direction. And do not forget that students should do the BIP and should be recognized. Okay, it's not an extra thing for the students. As a common Erasmus mobility, BIP should be recognized, and of course this should be also an effort of each partner to ensure that the students that participate in the BIP credit those credits, CTS points in their study plan. So, but again, thank you very much and congratulations for the work done.
Thanks to you, and also thanks to the IPB for the huge support in everything about the BIP. Your team is fantastic. Not only Angela, that was involved in the first time, also your team has been pushing a lot over there. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Luis and Benjamin. Anybody else with any comment, suggestion, or question for Benjamin and the TIG? Yes, Lars, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you very much for an interesting presentation, and I would just like to underline what Rima said, that it's really nice to see that you are lifting your eyesight above energy transition, looking at how this might tie into living spaces and digital transition and so on and so forth. I think that will be the real kind of test for our network. If we succeed in finding these transitions between fairly focused thematical interest groups and actually making it work across, I think that will be important. And of course, everyone is crossing their fingers that we will get the money from the European University Initiative, because if we do, I think we will have the resource muscles to actually start working on this issue of trans TIG collaboration. And University West, me and Gunnar, we have the lead for the suggested work package 4. And I think that would be an excellent work package where this could be addressed. So thank you very much. And as it is in my nature, I'm very positive for the future. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think we must be positive. If not, well, it's mandatory to be positive right now. So I think. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lars and Benjamin. Any other questions or remarks? I could take one of mine then perhaps as well. I was thinking, but first of all, Benjamin, thank you very much for a really nice presentation. It's gave a very good overview and the content of what you're doing, and very interesting to hear the development of the TIGs and the content of collaboration already being done. So that's really nice to hear and good. I was thinking that our alliance, the STARS EU alliance, has we are non-governmental regions. We have a focus of the connection with the regions and the development of our regions. I was thinking about that compared to the TIG of energy transition. Is that a problem or is it an opportunity, depending on when you had a lot about the interaction with the development of the grids, of intelligent grids, of smart grids, and so on. It's very often are the large and we're coming to international companies of energy, of the national agenda and so on. Being an alliance with a focus of our regions on the development of the surrounding society that we are living in, this is an opportunity, or do you see it as an obstacle for the energy transition TIG?
Well, in my humble opinion, it's a big opportunity, because when you are alone, you are only a university in a region. To be heard is quite complicated, but in this alliance, we are not only one university around the world. We are more than this, with a strange cooperation, and also we are facing exactly the same problems, the same base that all the regional politics and statement will face in the quick future. Perhaps the solutions here or there will be different, but the problem is exactly the same. And then how to solve the methodology can be applied along the Europe, and let me to say along the world. But even the final solution will be different. Instead, 2 + 1 in another place will be 5 + 2, energy and accumulation, for example. But the methodology and the way to face how to analyze the future, how to analyze the possible scenarios, how to analyze how is your renewable energy resources and your capability, how is your gross interior product, and so on. All these analyses are exactly the same. So this is a really great opportunity to be heard around Europe, not only in this subject, also the other subjects that are working, my colleagues in the other TIGs, because it's quite important, because we are facing exactly the same. We have the same inquietude. We are learning one each other from our differences, but it doesn't mean that the solution can be applied in another place. No, no, no. It means that we are more capable. We have more capability to understand the problems, to be in the steps of the other people, to understand what is exactly the problem and a broad solution that we can offer as a big alliance. So I think it's quite better.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. I see Pavel, you had something, please.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. I would like to ask one issue regarding the energy transitions. I'm from Krakow University of Technology, and there are many Horizon Europe calls regarding this topic. For example, there is a work program recently shown 8, climate, energy, and mobility. And what is the, how to say, the plans of the TIG about the Horizon projects? Would you willing to make some consortia and try to write some proposals?
Well, the main idea is first to know if we are able to do that. So if we have time, enough people to try to do that, and try to take several stakeholders also inside and outside from our universities. And in the next meeting, we will discuss if we want to try or not. In the following meetings, we will try to put black and white to share with all the universities and try to enlarge the group to work in it.
So when is the next meeting? Can I
tomorrow at well, I am more or less than the set time. I think it's tomorrow 11 here, tomorrow noon, I think, set time.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other comment or question? We still have some time if there's somebody else who wants to contribute or to add something. Yes, Antonio, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Benjamín. It was very enlightful to understand the work that you have been doing, all of you in the TIG. And I'm sure that the future is promising, and that somehow and somewhere and somewhere in the near future, we at the arts and cultural industries will work with you along with these societal changes and challenges that you are facing, because you are not just addressing some niche knowledge issues, but really societal changes. So we are all as citizens, and not just in our interests, involved in these concerns that you have faced. So I'm sure that we are going to work together. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I have another thing, or more of a reflection from my part, is when I hear this today, and we've had the prior seminars, and we beginning to get a picture of what's going on together within the TIGs, even if we're not halfway through, but we're still through 3 of 7 now, is that there's so, and also combined with the knowledge I have of my university and what I've learned from the partners in the Alliance as well, is that the topics of the thematic interest groups are so well formalized that they could and should integrate quite a lot of different areas of studies. They could include energy in energy transition, but also automation, production technology, the environmental sciences. There's so many of, and we have what I see as a big challenge is that we get these out into the fine parts of each and every partner in the Alliance and get the knowledge of what we are doing and the benefits of actually participating, getting this out in each and every one of our partners within the Alliance. And that is, for me, a main topic or main focus on how to do that together with you within the thematic interest groups, how to raise the interest, how to get more and more involved and participating in the collaborations, regardless if it's education, teaching, courses, BIPs, or if it's research projects, applications. So I think that is, at least for me, some sort of conclusion. You're doing very good work. You're doing quite a lot of very nice things here, but we need to get the involvement up. Now let's see. Beata wanted to comment as well, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Beata Kvetek and I am new in this TIG, so it's the first time I'm participating from Hansa University. And it's very nice to meet you and see the work you have been done already by that time and the preparation of educational program and ambitions for research. And since I'm new, so I don't know everything very well, so I have a question regarding the linkages, interdisciplinary linkages with other TIGs. How do you implement this? How do you know about other TIGs? Do you participate in each other's meetings, or how is that organized? And linked to that, very often we see that the calls, horizon calls or other, require multidisciplinary participation of different partners. So actually, if we want to prepare a horizon call, then we have to cooperate with other TIGs. So not the same competence from different universities, but actually different, slightly different. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you. Well, in the first case, sometimes it's quite complicated to obtain information, what the other TIGs are making. Exactly, Rima made a question about that. So sometimes the information is not flowing through all the TIGs and it's complicated to know. In my case, I know because I have several colleagues that are involved in several of the TIGs. Well, we depart about the perspectives, the futures, the problems, and so on. And for this reason, I have this kind of information. Several of the components of my group is also collaborating with in their own universities with other guys, and also for this reason we know the information. But of course, the channel to improve the information flow must be implemented or improved. Because it's not working so nice. Regarding to the calls, are in the program are calls that will finishing in a month and a half. Another one will be closed in September. Of course, my email is over there, and if not, I can send you to Rima or to the steering committee, and they can move there. If anybody wants to know if we have a space and a mind and time to apply to anything together, of course we can try. So I think that's the answer no, is the thing that we have, but well, let's try. So I think that we have the opportunity to face several problems with different point of view, not only due to our disciplines, also from our territories and our point of view, or also our culture. So it's quite different. But I think that these differences are making us stronger. So of course we can try to know if, well, we can try to apply together to anything like that without the barriers of the TIG, or including people from other TIGs, or including work package from other TIGs, and so on. Of course, we are open to do that. So, for sure.
Thank you, Benjamin. Now we have Lars and Rima, and after that, I think we need to end our Q&A and wrap it up. But Lars first, and then Rima.
Yeah, thank you, Gunnar. No, but my thinking was very much in line with what Beata said. I think we have to go back to the drawing board and think everything over once again. Is the idea of TIGs counterproductive to the idea of transdisciplinarity, or is it not? Should we have more of a matrix type of organization where we have horizontal and vertical themes, where it's easier to find the interaction between different themes? I think we should be open for that type of discussion, and but once again, I'm optimistic. We will find a way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Lars. And Rima, finally you.
Thank you very much. First of all, I also would like to thank you very much Gunnar and Sven organizing these events. We have series of TIGs meetings. So, and thank you all who participates, not in one, but joining other ones. So this is one of the activities where we want to connect you. As Benjamin said, it's not easy. Really, the information flow is very important. And I think we're facing it not only in StarCU, the same in each university. Not always we know what our colleague next door is doing. So I think this is very important for us to share this information. And I also would like to thank you, La Laguna, very much. We already established our website, starcu.org. Please visit it and check. There are information. We're trying to, little by little to collect all necessary information added to that. And the next step will be like our internet, our internal, the internet, where we can share openly our ideas, our work which we are doing, because not everything can be openly shared on that everybody can see. We have many things which we want to elaborate, especially in research and so on, elaborate and do ourselves. So I think this is the key of importance, what you said, that it's if you want to connect and our TIGs and make it multi and cross-disciplinary, as we're aiming in our new proposal for the European Universities call. So we have to share information. We have to create our platform where every ideas can be developed further. So thank you very much for Challenge Lab, for Gunnar and Lars working very hard. And of course, thank you very much all team of Energy Transition TIG, because it's really did a lot. And what Louis said, I like it also very much, with both sides, education and research are being developed. So thank you very much. Big applause for that. And I wish you all the best in your developments further.
Thank you very much, Rima. And just to say in the final, thank you very much, Benjamin, and the Energy Transition TIG. The next seminar will be on digital transition, which I think can have an implication on the energy transition very much, about the digitalization and the monitoring and the IT support for energy and so on. It will be on March 7th at 3 p.m. Central European time. And after that, I think many of us will meet physically or virtually at the conference in end of March in Tenerife. So thank you very much for attending and for the nice discussions, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.